Hello, and welcome to the Booze, Boobs, and Blood podcast. It's just me today. I am reviewing a upcoming movie. We are looking at, it's a new release by Bayview Entertainment, Summerhill Films, and Tomcat Films. They're releasing a new queer horror called Inherit the Witch. It's available in the US as of Tuesday, the 24th of September. Give you a little summary of the movie. In 1984, a family throws a birthday party for twins Corey and Jesse. 30 years later, what's left of the family reunites for the father's funeral at two isolated houses in New Forest, England, historically a hotbed of witchcraft. There, historic truths are slowly uncovered about the family's occult pact with an ancient evil that has secretly been at the core of their wealth and power as the remaining siblings uncover the true bloody darkness behind their inheritance. So it is written and directed by Cradeaux Alexander, and I am so sorry if I am saying your name incorrectly. I'm mispronouncing. And if you knew my real name, you would know that I feel your pain. Inherit the Witch is a psychological horror movie. It also stars Rohan Keane, Heather Cairns, and Christopher Sherwood. I am having a hard time with pronouncing words. So, that summary, I think I can add a little bit to it. We open, again, with their birthday party in 1984. It is their Did it say 14th? I'm pretty sure it was our 14th birthday. Yeah, it does not say, but I'm pretty sure they're 14, I think, in the original, in the 1984 flashback that we open with. So they're all back in England, and they're what we don't know at the time, and I'm still not sure if Rex is a sibling. I'm pretty sure he's a sibling, but he says something about being a half-breed at some point, and I was like, I don't like that. But I don't know what that means because he's a half-sibling. That one I didn't get. But we open with Rex and Corey on the phone. Well, first we open with Corey end of coitus. We don't see anything, but hello. We also get to see Lars, his partner. Lars is very cute behind, so Christopher Sherwood, thank you. Or I should say thank you for Cradeaux for including it. It slowly dissolves into, from there, devolves, I should say, into, like, who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, what's the witch still have to do with these people, you know, what's the plan, like, what's the overall plan here? So we start, it's a very slow burn. So if you're looking for, like, jump scares and stuff like that, this isn't the place for you, baby. But I will say there's a lot of dramatic tension. It's very atmospheric. I will give it that. Like, it is very atmospheric. I have to say, someone mentioned this is like a low-budget British horror, and being a connoisseur of American low-budget horror, we do a segment on the podcast, Booze, Boobs, and Blood. It's a weekly podcast called To Be or Not to Be, where we kind of do like a randomizer, or like, you know, I hate to say this term, but Russian roulette, where one of us gets to have to do a to-be horror movie. So when I say I know bad low-budget horror, I'm not fucking with you, okay? And this is like a fucking dream. And so England, you got it fucking going on, man. I'm just saying, lucky you. Really, that's, it spans, I want to say, maybe, like, the whole movie's about 4 hours. It's hard to get a concept of time, but it doesn't seem like very long. But we do have a couple scenes. We have a scene with Fiona and Corey, and then Corey and Lars doing their thing, and all the while Rex is kind of like traversing the country, and also convening with witches. So It's interesting. It's very interesting. How we do things on this podcast. When we do reviews for like new movies, we do a compliment sandwich. I don't want to spoil for you. I don't want to get too far into this. And because even if we are going to recommend or not recommend, we hardly, very, very rarely don't recommend a movie. But and in this case, I'm going to definitely recommend this movie. So I would say, if you know, I'm not going to spoil it, but so what we like to do is we do a compliment sandwich. We start with the top bun, something we liked about the movie, and then we move to something like the meat, something we didn't like as much, and it could be like a fucking Dagwood sandwich, or it might be like a bacon, lettuce, and tomato. So it depends on what the meat is. And then we like to end on a high note, and we pop in that bottom bun. So for this, my top bun, it's something fucking different. Like, that is my battle cry on this show. Like, give me something fucking different. Like, I was talking with somebody not too long ago, and they were telling me in a movie that that they were thinking of, or that they were starting to write, and they were describing it to me. I said, that's the fucking Skeleton Twins. Like, that's not a horror movie, but still, you get the idea of, like, everything's been fucking done. Like, to have something new and interesting. Now, this does have, like, very much Faustian, like, it is the pact with the devil. So, of course, you've got those Faustian undertones, and it works here. It works really well. But the fact is that it's low budget, and it packs a punch, is really interesting. It's very interesting. Especially, there's a twist at the end that comes out of fucking nowhere that is, like, pretty great. So, I will say, like, I think that it's something different. It is a slow burn. It is not. It's for those gore hounds, which I normally am very much like one of those. But I do like slow burns. I love slow burns. The others, fucking brilliant. The Changeling, fucking get it. Midsummer, get it. Like, I love those movies. Although Midsummer, I will say, like, up from fucking get go, like, you get murders, or murder suicide. So fuck. But you know what I'm going at. With, like, I don't necessarily need the gore to enjoy a horror movie. But, so if you're a gore hound, that's what I have to say, this is not for you. Like, there are some gory moments, and I'm using gore very, it's not very gory. And it doesn't need to be, honestly. It really doesn't. Because it's a psychological horror, so it's all up here. But again, something fucking different. So moving on to something I didn't like as much. The only thing I'm gonna say, and this is a me problem, it is not the movies. Well, there's two things. One is and this could be actually tied to one another. One is our director, writer, and lead, who plays Corey, has an American accent. And all of his brothers and sisters all are British. And it threw me. I'm not going to lie. It threw me it not threw me. It was most of the time me going, well, when did he lose the accent? Did he have it like... But he doesn't have it in the flashback, which then threw me too. Because I was like, but wait, like, why would he be the one kid who doesn't have a British accent if they're living in England? So that is where I spent most of my brain. That's a me thing. I should have just been like, don't fucking worry about it. But at the same time, like, I would have liked more of, like, his backstory, because we're also told that they are very wealthy and influential. I would have loved to have seen that. Now, I know some of that is probably, like, fucking dough, so, like, you can't really, like, if you don't have the capital to be able to put that into, like, to being in your movie, I totally get it. But just some things that we could have kind of gotten just a little bit more of, like, oh fuck, this is some fucking buddy. Like, it's a Kardashian, not like that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you get an idea when you hear the name Kardashian, you know, fucking, you know, horrible people. Anyhow, it is a hot take. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know a name, you know the recognition that comes with it. Kind of wanted a little bit more of that. But again, that could have been there, and I was still worried about, like, why does he have an American accent and the rest of them are British? Because I'm dumb. So that's probably my meat. That's really it. I mean, it's all here. Like, literally, it's very compact movie. It's very short, too. It's only, like, an hour and 24 minutes. So, bottom bun... I am gonna give it to Cradeaux Alexander, because this movie where the the storyline, where the pressure lies for this movie, or where it kind of like where it shines, I should say, is the performances. Because that's what you have to do when you don't have a lot of money. You have to have the performances and the dialogue to pull it off, to pull off something. And if you don't, God forbid, you're gonna have a fucking Factory of the Paranormal. Whoo, wozers. But like, that's a really, that is my bottom. That is worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. So like, you were taking and comparing the two, like, the dialogue wasn't there, the acting, cats wasn't there for Factory of the Paranormal. But here, we got some brilliant, really great performances that are holding the movie together, and it's great. Like, Cradeaux is fantastic, and I am so sorry I keep saying your name wrong. And the character Rex is fantastic, and Lars, mwah, like, I don't know if you're Swedish in real life. I can't see from IMDb, tells me nothing. But if that's, if you are British and you're doing a Swedish accent, because it's not like the fucking borta Swedish chef. This is like a very understated performance, and I really like it. And Fiona, fan-fucking-tastic. Oh, you know what? I am going to say one more thing. And it was a money thing. I know it is. But the 80s clothes in the flashback, I was like, these are not 80s at all. Like, some, not really. I was having a hard time. I was like, these look like all hipsters from fucking, Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Like, I was like, what? That's neither here nor there. That's a money thing. But, so I will say those four in particular, fucking standouts. And the woman who played Pamela was pretty great too. Imogen Smith, pretty great. So that's pretty much my review. Like, those are like our little compliment sandwich. I will say, so we usually do ratings too. Ratings, we do it on a five scale. 1 to 5. First is blood and gore. I'm going to give this a 2, just because there are a couple kills that are pretty fucking gnarly. So I will say, again, don't want to spoil anything, because I think you should see it. So, but just know that it's not horrific, but it's something that, like, I think they could play on. We say, like, can it play on Syfy? Can we play on Sci-Fi? Or could it play on, like, AMC? Yeah, sure. So, but it's like, maybe for little kids, no, maybe like teenage, probably good. Spooky, scary little ghost. Sorry, I had to remember what the next one was. I'm gonna say this is just 2, mostly just because, this is all relative. This scale is very relative to yourself and your experiences. For me, because I have seen some shit. It's actually, the more I think about it, it's 2 to 2.5, possibly even a 3, because fucking witches scare me. Because I don't know what it is with the witch, but the fact is that you can't, like, I don't know, like, the witch scared the shit out of me. Like, anything that's conversing with the devil to sell something that you can't control, no, I'm good. No, thank you. So, like, it is to me very frightening. And I think the word we give to people to, like, create havoc, or to, like, we fucking had trial. We burned people here for this. So, like, it's got a pretty heavy connotation. So I'm gonna say 2.5. I'll go the medium there. Sex and nudity. This is a 2. I'm sorry. We don't get to see any sex. We hear it. But there's a lot of sexual innuendo. Like, probably, it's actually very funny innuendo that, like, you would, probably say to your partner, like, if you make yourself a sandwich, I'll give you a head, I'll give you a blowjob. That's funny shit. Like, so I will say, I did laugh to myself. I was like, damn, Lars and Corey just cannot keep their hands to themselves. And I am here for it. And then, Cold Black Hearts. How fun what kind of fun did I have? Like, I would say that if I watched this with my co-host, we would have had a fucking blast, because I would have been like so annoying. I would have been like, so why? And she would have said, shut the fuck up and just watch the movie. Why does he have an American accent? When did he leave? When did he lose the British accent? But I think I enjoyed it. So I'm going to say 2.5, 3. I would say it's definitely a B movie. It's definitely a B movie that, like, I'm excited to see what more from this guy, from Cradeaux Alexander, this person, I should say. I'm excited to see where they're going to go next. And yeah, I would definitely recommend. And again, it'll be streaming on Tuesday, so please check it out. You know, do not go in thinking that you're going to have jump scares galore, because that's just not how this movie is. But if you enjoy a nice, psychological terror, like thriller and horror that you're like, with witches, this is it for you. We have a weekly podcast. We break down franchises, but we also have like theme months. We just closed out, to give you an example, we just closed out Back to School month, where we did Beetlejuice, Goosebumps, Paranorman. Oh, if you've not seen Paranorman, guys, do not sleep on that. And Monster House. We are moving into Ween. My co-host is very excited. I am not. Into Nose, Nightmare on Elm Street, Quiptown. And we'll be covering that. We're also coming up on our 100th episode and our anniversary show. So there's a lot going on over wherever you find podcasts. Stitcher. Stitcher is even available anymore? Or no, Stitcher's not a thing. Dang. Spotify, the purple icon, any place you find podcasts. Amazon Music, we're there too. We're in Audible. Find us, we're there. You can like and subscribe on this video. You can follow us on Spotify. It helps with our algorithm and our sponsor numbers. Here, it helps with our sponsor numbers, so yay. Again, if if this is something you like, let us know. We'll find, if you have constructive criticism, our email is in the description. Anyhow, until next time, keep it spooky.